Hey, what's good, guys? So, you guys, now we are on the question set 30. So, the first question is find the number of letters in the find the number of letters in the full name of all students in grade 11. So, if you take a look at the class table, there is no there are only two rows. There are two classes. Both are grade 11, so you don't have to worry about the class name. So therefore I'm going to search the query from the student table. So I'm going to say select all from exam mark DB's student table. So if I execute this query, we will get the result, the student table as a result. But what we need we need the full name of all students in grade 11. So if I say like this, just give me the student tables first name and student tables last name. If I execute this query, we will get the student's first name and last name, and other rows won't be shown. But it's okay, but they asking for the letters, number of letters in the full name. So therefore we had to join both these column names, and after that we have to count the column the characters of that specific when we join both these columns together. So to do that, so first of all we had to join both these columns as a single column like that. It won't exactly add the columns, it will pair the strings. So that's what I was trying to say, it will pair the strings. So to do that, I have to mention those, put this inside a bracket, and after you have to say concat. So if you execute this query, now you will get the result as attached. Both strings are attached. So now you can count the characters of these exact of this result. So also I'm going to rename it as students full name, and it will say it will give the result, and it will name as the result will be named as student's full name. And now I'm going to count the rows, I'm going to count the characters. So to do that, I'm going to insert this all this function inside a bracket. Then I had to say char length. By doing that, we will be able to get the character lengths of this. We will be able to get the character length of this this function that inside this bracket. So if I execute this, going to say 15, 16. Now we have the character length of that specific result. So yeah, and that's all for the first question, and I'll see you in the second one. Okay, so let's take a look at the second question. So the second one, Sinhala language and literature, find the number of letters in this word. Okay, so I want to say select I want to say char set, char length, and inside this I'm going to say singular language, single literature, this one, and also I'm going to rename column name. So I'm going to say what's that, character length, single. Okay, if I execute this query, it will basically gives return the character length of this string. So there also the space count will be also counted as a character length. So yeah, and this is the answer for the question 2, and I'll see you in the next video. So the third one, find the number of letters in the full name of all students in grade 11 A class. So now we find the number of letters in the full name of all students in grade 11 A class. So now we have to mention the class name. The class name is going to be class 11A, and when we search the query, after that we need to count no we need to get the character length of those students who studying in class 11A. We need to get the full name of those. So to do that, I'm going to say select all from exam of DBs class student table. So if I execute this query, I'll get the student table as a result. You can see in the class in this student table we don't have the class name. To get the class name, we need to use the class ID, but the class ID is in the class ID exists in the sub student table, but we don't have the class names. To get the class name, we had to access a class table. So therefore I'm going to join the table, therefore I'm going to join the class table with student table. So I'm going to say inner join exam of DBs class table on. Now I'm going to say which column that we are going to match with that student table. So class tables class ID is going to be matched with the student tables class ID. By doing that, we will be able to get the class name. We can access the class name now. Okay, right, cool. So now we have to search write the condition. So the condition is class name. So the class name is from the class table. So class name is 11A. So you guys can see there are only 4 rows. So if I execute this query, there will be only 4 rows. And now we have what we need. Now we have to filter out the columns that we actually don't need. So they only asking for the full name. I guess let's take a look again. Full name of all students in grade 11A. So I'm gonna say student dot first name, student dot last name, and after that I'm gonna say char length of the char length of the strings that added together. So in this case we are going to add the first name and the last name. So I want to say inside this char length I want to say concat student first name and student's last name. Let's rearrange rearrange the query, so we can locate more easier. It will be easier to view. So if I execute this query, it will basically display like this. It will say it will give the first name. It will print out the last name. Also, it will print out the added strings, in this case first name and last name's character length. Also, I'm going to reading this column as I want to say full name length. I want to say full name length. Is it right here? Yeah. Okay. So this is the answer for question 3. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Okay, the fourth one is prepare the first name of all grade 11B students in capital letters. So first of all, we had to write a query to get the grade 11B students. So I want to say student select all from exam of DB's student table. And now if I execute this query, I'll get the student table as a result, and now I'm going to join the student exam of DB's class table, because to access the class name I had to search from I need the class table, because I only had the class ID in the student table. So I want to say on. Now I'm going to say now I have to mention which column of student table is going to be matched with which column of class table. So student tables class ID is going to be matched with class tables class ID. And if I execute this query, now student table and class table are matched together, and now we will be able to access the class name. So now we can write the search query, or we can now we can say the conditions. So where now we have to say which class. So we need the class name. So to get the class name, I need the class table. So class table dot class name is 11B. So if I execute this query, now I will get the result that only has the class name as class 11B. And now I have the result. Now we had to filter out the columns. So I only need the first name. What do I need? I need the first name. So I want to say the student table's first name. So if I execute this query, now I will get the student name's first name, but they mentioned they told us to prepare the first name in capital letters. So to do that, I want to say you can use this kind of you can use this function to get the names as capital letters. At the upper, it's just upper. This function will do the thing. So I want to say student first name. So if I execute this query, now I'll get the result. So I'll get the first name, and I'll get the first name with in uppercase letters, uppercase characters, I guess uppercase capital letters. So yeah, this is the answer for question 4, and I'll see you in the question 5. So now we are on the question set 5th question. So the 5th one, it's prepare the names of all the subjects in simple letters. So it's a simple query, so we have to say select all from exam of DB's exam mark DB's subject table. So if I execute this query, I will get the subject table as a result. So they say prepare the names of all the subjects in simple letters. So what we have to do is let's get the subject name. So I'm going to say I just need the subject name only. So I'm going to say subject tables subject name. So now we are filtering out the subject name. Okay, so now we need the subject name as a in simple letters. Now you just have to put this inside a lower function. So what I'm going to do now is inside I want to put this subject name inside a lower function. So if I execute this query, now I'll get the answer like this. So yeah, that's the answer for question 5, and I'll see you in the question 6. So the sixth one is find the average of marks obtained by Amanda Moses in class 11A in all term examinations in subject science. So we just had to write a search query, but we had to consider subject name, the class 11A, and the student name Amanda Moses. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to say select all from I'm going to start from student exam mark record table. So if I execute this query, I'll get the student result, and also I need the subject name. So therefore I'm going to inner join the subject table. So inner join subject table, and now I'm going to say subject table subject ID is going to be matched with student exam mark record tables subject ID. Now we will be able to access the subject name as well as the student marks and the subject name. And also now I'm going to inner join the student name because we need student table, so we can access student name, and also by accessing the student's class ID we can access class name. So I want to say student table, and now student table student ID index number, student table student index number is going to be matched with student exam mark record tables index number, student index number. Now we can access the student details. Okay, and also now I'm going to inner join the class table, and in this case class tables class ID is going to be matched with student tables class ID. Now we can get the class name. As you can see here, we have the class name. Okay, and now I'm going to search I'm going to write the conditions. The first one is a student's first name. First condition, first name is Amanda, and student's last name is Moses. So if you execute this query, you will get the answer only for, okay, we have an error. Yeah, I didn't add the where keyword. So if I execute this query, I'll get the student Amanda Moses details, Amanda Moses rows only. I'll get the rows that has the student's first name and last name as Amanda Moses. So also now I had to get the class, now I had to mention the subject name. So subject table subject name, subject name, it is science, so I want to say science. So if I execute this query, I'll get the Amanda Moses. Oh yeah, I have to add the keyword and. So if I execute this query, I'll get the subject science of Amanda Moses. And now we have to just simply have to get the subject name. We have to, now we need the average. So I'm going to say mark, student exam mark record tables mark is what I need. and I can say like this, ABG, and I'll get the average. 80 is the average, but yeah, and I'm going to rename the column name, so I'm going to say S Amanda. I'm going to say average, I guess, average marks. So now I'm going to rename. So this is the answer for question 6 of question set 30, and I'll see you in the question set 31. Thank you for watching.